Alright. So, hello everybody. Thank you for coming. Today I would like you to join me in paying tribute to Ray Park for his military service during World War II, as well as his community service after the war, and for being the most influential man in my life. Ray Park served in the Army during World War II. He received awards for his service and later for his contributions to his church and to his community. In World War II, he served as a forward observer. He landed in Omaha Beach, Normandy on D-Day in the first wave. He received the Bronze Star for his bravery, as well as numerous other commendations. After the war, when he returned home, he married my grandma, and he joined the Ford Motor Company. He served as a manager at the Ford Motor Company for over 30 years. He worked there while my grandmother was at home. She raised 3 kids. And during that time, he received the Ford Good Citizen Award for community service. Upon his return, he also founded the B. Williams Little League Association, and all of his children played. His grandchildren, with the exception of myself, they all played softball. They played at B. Williams Field, and they went to the church a block away, and with the church came even more community service on his part. He helped to bring in a local child care facility, Apple Tree Learning Center. They started at the church that my grandfather helped to continue. When we went without a preacher for probably 3 or 4 years, he, being the chairman of the Board of Deacons, stepped up. He taught the sermons, and he helped with hiring a new pastor and trying to grow our church in the meantime when we didn't have one. He was humble and would not take over, would not try and become pastor of the church. He knew that that wasn't God's place for him, that he was meant as a humble servant, and he continued to do that. He was a devoted Christian. He was a deacon, and he was a Sunday school teacher. He was at Emmanuel Baptist Church from probably the time I was 3 years old until he moved to Alabama. 21 years later, at that time he quickly joined another church, Shelby Baptist, and developed a good relationship with the pastor there and the community. And even at the age of 84, when he passed, he was actively involved in his church and in his community in Shelby, Alabama. In World War II, he lost 2 brothers, as well as 2 future brother-in-laws, but he was one who survived, thankfully. There were over 300,000 deaths in Army alone in World War II, and my grandfather came home. He came home with a Purple Star. He came home with a Bronze Star. And he has a plaque of remembrance in front of City Hall in Chesapeake for World War II veterans for commemoration. His integrity, his Christian morals, and his love for his family are what have made him the most influential man in my life. I personally count him as my hero. He saved me from a rat. He saved me from a snake. He saved me from my mother. He spent 55 years married to my grandmother, and their anniversary just passed. It passed December 14th. But he said that he married her because he couldn't get rid of her. But he loved her, and they had their special way of communicating and bonding, and he did that and expressed his love for all of us, including her, through sarcasm and humor. His humor was quiet, but if you paid attention, there was a lot of it there. He would patiently, endlessly put puzzles together with me. I carved a pumpkin with him every Halloween. He would sit there with his news on the background at the kitchen table, same house, always the same house. And we would play with our puzzles and play with the crayons and color and anything that I wanted. He always just let me make up the rules of the game. He never won because I always changed the rules, and he kept going along with the new rules, which of course were always altered for me to win. So he would carve his pumpkins and watermelon. Watermelon was the other favorite for me. We spent every summer coming and sharing lawnmower rides and feeding his birds and listening to music. He walked me down the aisle at my wedding. Oh, sweetheart. And I just remember his big hands and this huge life, this presence that I will always miss and will always treasure. And I thank you for being here and for going through these memories with me and honoring my grandfather for his service in my life and in the lives of so many other people.
That was long.
Tristan, have you put her views in on that one?
That's all right. I miss him too.